in Drain Lake, as our characters trying to find a cure for the undead curse so they no longer feel its effects, but they're unsure of why Drain Lake specifically. Just as the mind gravitates towards the smell of food when hungry, the mind of the undead is drawn to souls. Drain Lake has plenty of them. To get to Drain Lake, we must cross a lake and enter a portal. Scene tries to portray this event as some marvelous spectacle, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Once we cross this gate, we're never coming back. We'll either be trapped here until we cure the curse or go hollow. The gate is even surrounded by bright bugs, which are known to comfort the dead, almost like it's luring us to our deaths. So for one final time, we gather our thoughts and jump. On the other side of this portal is the Things Betwixt, a place stuck in limbo that serves as a connection between Drain Lake and the outside world. Like I said, we're stuck here for good. Inside this limbo is a house of women, 3 of whom are firekeepers that are being cared for by their housekeeper, and they are very honest about our livelihood.
She's the one herself. This is the fate of the curse.
We aren't the first undead to walk through their doors, and we won't be the last, and all of them have met the same fate, so what makes us any different? Dark Souls 2 tries to set in this feeling of hopelessness, something that's very consistent throughout the trilogy. No one truly believes we can accomplish our goal, but that's what makes the Emerald Herald so wonderful. She believes that we can succeed in our goal and will help us in any way that she can, and by providing us the means to level up, she might be the most helpful person in the game. This is why the level up ladies of the franchise have always been seen in such a positive light. They don't discriminate, and they don't bother questioning if what we're doing is working. They have an undying motivation to help us succeed, regardless of if there's something to gain from it. They're like a bright light in a dark tunnel, as all around them are people who have given up.
Salt.
The location they both reside in is Majula, a small town on the outskirts of Drain Lake, and its theme music displays a feeling of peace, a place that is void of death, a place that you can feel comfortable in, and in the world of Dark Souls, a place like that is more than necessary. I always preferred when the main hubs were seamlessly integrated into the world, something that would be eventually lost with the series going forward, as it makes the world more believable, and in the case of Majula, without it you'd be missing this beautiful scenery. After taking in the view, we can speak to the Emerald Herald, who will reveal our objective.
Seek those whose names are unutterable. The 4 endowed with immense souls.
These 4 beings are known as the 4 Great Ones: the Lost Sinner, the Old Iron King, the Rotten, and the Duke-Skin Freya. Just to go over, we have 4 beings that need to be slain in order to continue, and just like Dark Souls 1, how we go by killing them maybe one over, but only this entirely up to us. The one thing to point out is that the Emerald Herald isn't fired. At least, she wasn't originally. Her real name is Shanala, and she was given this name by the dragons. Her purpose was to break the undead curse, but seeing as there is thousands of hollows in Drain Lake, she clearly failed. Her goal now is to just rest at Majula, guiding the undead on their journey to succeed in Hendrik. Before we go though, I want to talk about the NPCs. I think Dark Souls 2 really dropped the ball when it came to these characters. Many of them are extremely forgettable and seem to only be placed in the worlds that the player can be given a tangible item rather than an engaging story. Benhard of Jugo is a good example, as he seems like a compelling character that may have a memorable quest, all for it to crumble almost immediately. His whole quest line revolves around his family heirloom, the giant teal sword resting on his shoulder, which you may recognize as the Moonlight Greatsword, except this one is a fake. It doesn't have the magical properties of the original, but Benhard believes that with enough strength he can unlock its true power. I would have dropped this quest entirely if it wasn't for the fact that he gives us the sword at the end of it. He provides little to no substance to the world, and this goes for a vast majority of characters we meet. There are over 40 NPCs in this game, and about 90% of them provide the player with service, and some of their services are either outclassed or completely useless. Lenigrast is the Majula blacksmith, but the player may find Macduff, another blacksmith. Except Macduff can do everything Lenigrast can do, but with the added bonus of being able to infuse weapons. And Gavlan is a lonely merchant who only sells 5 items, 4 of which are poison. He also has 3 set locations, so in order to purchase his services, you'll need to go out of your way to find him, and that's if you really want poison equipment. There's just so much clutter, as half these characters can literally just combine into one general goods merchant. Thankfully, it's not all bad. Lucatilo has a wonderful questline as she shows us the horrific reality that is the undead curse. She was a warrior of Mira, but now she barely remembers who she is. By the time we get to the end of her questline, she's practically pleading for us to remember her name, as she may not remember herself. It's unclear why she came to Drain Lake in the first place, but given that her brother Aslanteal will invade us only a few feet from her final location, it's possible that she was looking for him. But now both of them have succumbed to the curse's affliction, never truly knowing what happened to the other. Thankfully, Lucatiel isn't the only character of note in this game, as the feud between Creighton and Pate and the peaceful conversations with Vengarl were fantastic. Being able to
Hey, what's going on, guys? Berserk Chapter 382 is finally out, so let's talk about it. Now, let me clarify something first and foremost. The English version is not currently out as of the time of making this video, it's just the Spanish version. So what I did is I just used Google Translate. It's not the best thing in the world. I realize you're going off of two translations, Japanese to Spanish to English, so not everything is going to be 100% accurate. That being said, this chapter is very low on the dialogue, and not a lot actually happens in this chapter as well, so I feel like it's not that much of a detriment. But with that said, guys, let's actually get into the meat of the chapter itself. So the first thing we have here is Guts, walking along the path with the various monks, and it's like the place where Guts is heading, along with the monk, is. And remember in the previous chapter where I was making a comment about how Guts' body looked a little more cachectic, a little more scrawny, not as muscular as it did in the past? It looks more muscular in this panel right here, so it makes me wonder, did they sort of make a mistake in the last panel, or it just seems like an inconsistency almost, like maybe two different people drew the panels. Maybe you had one guy draw in the previous panel, and now you got a different guy, and you got a little bit of inconsistency in terms of his body frame, but nothing earth-shattering. So we see the various monks and sorcerers, they're doing their little chants, the little mantra, and Isidore and Azan are following Guts. And of course, Guts still looks to be out of it at this point. He's not quite himself. It basically continues on for the next page, and then it continues on for one more page, which is kind of weird because it's like, this chapter feels very light. It feels like there's not a lot of substance in this chapter. I mean, basically, they go on a walk, and then they arrive at the place that they want to arrive at, but they don't really explain anything about it. So it's like, did this really need to be a chapter? I feel like this could have been cut.
That's cool. I knew they were gonna happen. Well, I'm supposed to be there. I know exactly. Shit. So basically, I'm finna use this again. Bro, ain't no. Nigga just, like, how? How the fuck I died? How did I die? That's the real question. How? Damn, hold on. It just took a chunk out my head. Here you go. Can I find more little green man in it? That's the real question. It's just the fact that I'm still scared to fight that boy. When I had first started playing this, I was like level 30 when I actually came to both of the release team. And I hated it with this talisman every time. I go like this. Pure luck. Pure luck. Pure luck that time.
私の士気を打ち払うとは
And now I gotta go fight this big ass snake monster on the ground. What the fuck is this?
まさかあなたのような異国の方が私の士気をあ、申し遅れました。私は福と申します。この地を守護する一階の陰陽師にございます。以後お見知りおきを。そのあやかしは先ほどあなた様が打ち倒した私の士気。何やら怒っているようですが、あなた様自らその怒りを鎮めることもできましょう。